folks, how you doing? It's Richie here from Anti-Corruption Scotland TV. Welcome back. Once again, we've got Rob S here, and we're going to cover some of the issues and some of the matters that happened throughout the time when, on the 22nd of April 2022, with Robert, when he was in court. The previous video, we ran out of time, didn't really have much time to cover it, Robert. So we thought we'd just come back and visit that. Speak about some of the issues and matters that happened with police constables, the sheriff, etc. And just give you an opportunity to speak about them and just dissect them and let people know exactly what's been happening here. So I think the first matter was when you went into court. You asked the police constable, you told the police constable you were putting him on his oath, and if anything illegal happened in there, or unlawful happened in there, then you would require his support. And then the sheriff who was on the bench, or the man acting as sheriff who was on the bench, refused to see you and hear you standing there. Is that right? Can you tell us what happened?
Well, when I went into the administrative hearing, I wouldn't even give the decency to call it a court. The people were obstructed from coming in. And what happened is, they were asking what the problem was, and they says there was a problem with the hearing, but the people at the door didn't know, including my daughter. They didn't know that I was the problem. It was about to take place, and they knew it was coming.
Yep.
You said that the sheriff didn't recognise myself. Well, that's a fact, because he asked, firstly, my name 3 times, and then secondly, the surname. And I wouldn't give the surname, because as soon as you give the surname, he's still trying to coerce you into the dock, because you give the surname, there's a good possibility I would have been grabbed and bodily removed from the court. So I wasn't playing their game. Yep. So, as I keep telling people time and time again, they don't hear you, they don't see you, and they can ignore you, and that's exactly what happened on that day. They ignored myself, and because he didn't get his way, he spat the dummy. And asked the Procurator Fiscal, the man acting, the Procurator Fiscal, to issue a warrant for failure to appear. Now, the man who was on the bench, his name, and I hope somebody sees this video and just tells people that he's been named and shamed, is Mark Maguire.
Okay.
And V. Keel, I don't know the first name of this man, but his name is V. Keel, acting as capacity Procurator Fiscal, and the court manager, the criminal department of Glasgow Sheriff Court, is Paul McGinley. He was squirming on that day because he was asked, could he hear or see me, and he says yes, and I asked him why it was that a man on a bench couldn't hear and see me, but he was interacting with me, and his face went red and didn't know what to do. He says, no, that's not to do with us, that's to do with the sheriff. He basically lied. They're all paid liars. So they wouldn't know the truth if it slapped them in the teeth. Yep.
So let's go back to when the sheriff, so just like, we can put it this way to make it easier for people to understand, right? Just as the man acting as sheriff on the bench, they expected you to be a man acting as a corporation so they could deal with you. Is that right?
Well, they don't, you're right what you say, but they don't expect, they can't deal with a man or a woman, they can only deal with a person. So what they try to do is coerce you and intimidate you and bully you and threaten you with a jail if you don't do what they want you to do, which is a crime.
That's one of the first things I wanted to speak about. So, lawfully, that man acting in capacity of a sheriff has committed crimes against you straight away because he didn't acknowledge to see you, probably in breach of his own oath as well, his oath of office. So he's committed crimes there. Now, when he decided that obviously the man Robert Sprowell wasn't in that court on that specific day, I believe he then asked the Prosecutor Fiscal to process an arrest warrant. So he's basically asked another man to get involved in his corruption. Exactly. He's drawn them, so he's went and done that, and he's created a document, or a legal document, which is an arrest warrant for you. Well, it wasn't for yourself, it was for you, the man Robert Sprowell in capital letters, which isn't yourself because you're the man Robert. So there's a lot of trickery going on here, but that's mere fraud again, Robert. I mean, the definition of fraud, as my understanding is, writing words and conduct to deceive and defraud.
And that becomes apparent when the benefit has been gained, and the benefit would be to have a man arrested falsely, in prison falsely. So that's a benefit they've won. In their eyes, they think they have the lawful right to do that.
Yep.
They have the legal right for the person. And the word you, this is a word that has to be paid attention to, because when they ask you, it's a trickery word. Trick, as you says, Richie, you're held surety and liable when it's you.
But there is a different language here anyway, Robert, the legalese language, and it's something that we don't comprehend, I would say.
It's all made up with lawyers and barristers in your government, because most of them in the government, the Scottish Parliament, like Nicola Sturgeon, the lawyer, liar. That's what she is. She's a liar. She's a lawyer, ex-lawyer. And she wasn't very good at it.
It makes you think, you know, why do they want to make up these languages and trick people? Because there's something not right, there's something unlawful happening there. So the judge has done that. The PF has processed a document to get you arrested, an arrest warrant, which is, again, a legal document, not a lawful document. Now, after that, what happened? You were arrested by the police constable?
After a period of time, I was in the court office arguing with the manager. And the constable gets sent outside the door because he didn't have the warrant. It was getting processed.
Yep.
It's not a warrant. It's a fake document, uttering of false documents. That constable, another constable outside that door, is also complicit in a criminal conversion and fraud and identity theft. Because when I went to London Road, it was the old capital name, it was on the document, so they know exactly what they're doing.
Interesting. So they've got this document again, it's all block capital letters they want you to act on, or they want to trick you into being this corporation, this entity, rather than being a living man. From there, they've got this document which is unlawful. Where exactly was the first crime committed on authorising this document? Was it committed by the man acting in the capacity of sheriff by saying Robert Sproul doesn't appear to be in court, or is it actually the guy who's written the words and the conduct to deceive and defraud, the PF?
The crime is at the very start of the process. I should never have been in there, the public building, because there is no victim. There's got to be a thing called, in their language, corpus delicti. There's got to be a victim, an injured party. There's got to be a illegal or unlawful activity, and it's got to be shown it's caused the harm to a person or a man or woman.
Yep.
But corpus delicti relates to person.
Again, that's interesting. So the long and short of it is, after everything that happened in the court that day, or in that hearing that day, you got arrested. They took you away. Is that right?
They didn't actually take me away. I kind of went with them because I wasn't going to leave the building, Richie, because I could have walked out and went home, but my door would have been kicked in as normal, and I wasn't prepared to do that, and I wasn't prepared to upset my family other than necessary. I explained before I went in the lift with these two actors what was happening with my daughter, to give her peace of mind, and I told her I'd be back tomorrow at the court. So I was letting her know I was coming back there.
Yep.
So you've got to know what you're doing. People, there'll be a lot of people out there who'll slate myself for what I've done and how I've done it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you've got 100 people outside the building or inside the building, 1,000, 10,000. Or people no turning up at all to support or be witnesses. It's myself and any other man, because in these buildings it's got to face the music. And what we have got to do is do what's best for us.
Yep.
I play the two sides of the court, and I know how to do that.
This is something I wanted to speak to you about as well, which I'll probably mention just before the end of the video. Ultimately, what's happened is the man acting in capacity as sheriff has said you're failed to appear. He's got a warrant. You stood in honour. You didn't go home. You waited till the warrant was processed, and you went with the police constables. So that's standing in honour, effectively. It's accepting that they're going to arrest you in their legal system. and you don't want damage done to your house, because that's exactly what's going to happen, possibly happened before, so you don't want it happening again. So they've took you away to London Road. Again, you've stood in front of a custody sergeant, no doubt?
No, I was one of the blue T-shirts, security officer.
All
I wasn't
right.
a constable, I was a security officer, a twat.
So this is interesting, because this is the first I've heard of this. It was should that not be a police?
It should be, but
Constable?
because it's myself that's appeared there, they're not going to have it. Because when I appeared there, one of the constables says to the other he was going to speak to the sergeant, and that's why, if I remember right, that you put a lawful document in when you come in, because they can't interact with men.
That's right.
They've got to avoid that issue because it's a problem. And also, in my property, when I got, the person got bail, the man just played the part. Your lawful document was in my property, so what they've done is they've put it in my property deliberately to escape liability, because now there is no evidence, even if you had witnesses to say there were a document. I say, what document? Because it's been given to myself without my knowledge and put in my property without my consent. And I didn't know that until I went back to court and I got out.
What they don't know is there is evidence that I've served a document on the custody sergeant. But that's it. I mean, this document that I served was I titled it a lawful document for the immediate release of a man, Robert. Now, I created that document, and the fact that I created it myself as a living man makes that document a lawful document. Is that right?
That's correct. The other thing that I noticed as well that I paid attention to, when I was took to their desk in London Road, I was asked my name and I told them my name is Robert. I was asked again what was my name and I told him Robert, and he says to me, an arrogant twat, so your name is Robert. I says, constable, that document there I see culpable, is that culpable reckless conduct? And he moved his hand. And guess what, people? I seen the old capital name. So what they've did again is committed fraud. They've put a name on a document that I have not consent. They need to or require to get consent for that name to be on it. What they're doing is coercing, and they're just having a free-for-all and at the people's expense, and they think they can get away with it where they can't get away with it. And what I did notice, one in the morning, I was up early in the morning, they let me go to the sink to get a wee face wash. When I passed the cell door, it had the old capital Sproul on it.
All right, that's interesting. So once again, they've committed fraud.
Exactly, 100%.
And by doing that, if I'm right in saying, if they're putting your name in block capital letters, that I was going to say that person. See, the language even catches me out, even though I comprehend the language that they use. Sometimes it catches me out, and it's quite tricky. So that man, actually, who wrote that in capital letters, has just committed fraud.
That's right.
And he can be held liable and surety.
That's right, because
for that.
he's got to prove that's my name. If I don't give a name, how can he prove? Because it's on a computer system for previous past. Because when I says to him, when I seen the document, I says the name you're looking at, that document, that name on that document's on your computer, and you're looking at that right now. So stop the nonsense and put me in a cell. But that wasn't the way I told him to do it. It was quite really abrupt.
But you don't want to say that.
He asked me questions about, was I suicidal? Did I take medication? Did I have alcohol? Did I feel anxious? And everything was a no comment. Again, he tried to enforce his will on myself and says, well, you're refusing. I says, listen, refusing's nothing to do with it. No comment. I don't have to make a comment to anything. I don't have to talk to you right now, right? I says, it's no your words that count. It's what I say that counts, not what you refuse. I don't consent. There's a difference.
Yep.
When you refuse point blank, people, you cause a controversy. Don't consent. That's your right.
Aye, well, I mean, it's never happened to me, but if you're arrested for some of the TV programmes and things like I've seen in the past, when they read you your, what we'll call rights, which aren't really your rights, I suppose they're your rights in the legal system, but as a man, they're not your rights, because you don't have
Well, if you look at the
rights to the legal system.
If you look at the book of rights that they give you when you're getting arrested and put in a cell, they'll give you a book with your legal rights. And if you look at that book, it keeps telling you the person. And this is a word people have to pay attention to. That one word affects your life day, morning, noon and night, every day, every week, every month and every year of your life. And it has serious implications and consequences. If you think you're a person my advice is go to a psychologist and get a mental health assessment, because if you think that you're a person, you shouldn't be walking about, you shouldn't be talking, you should be dead.
The definition of a person is
Corporation.
a corporation.
Entity. Entity is an independent existence. That's the person attached to the man or woman.
Yep.
That's how simple it is.
So a man, a living, breathing, flesh and blood man, woman, boy, girl, can't possibly be an entity.
Well, when you look at the
all part
news,
of the legalese trickery.
when you look at the news, somebody goes missing, they always say missing person. They never say a missing man or a missing woman.
That's right.
Person, because the person's already dead anyway.
Yep.
And if they're looking for somebody, they're still dead
It's
in their
interesting.
system.
It's interesting.
That's how they've got to stick to the word person. Even the media, person.
Yep.
Newspapers, persons. They can't go with man or woman, because that causes a major controversy.
Because like you said, they can't deal with a man or a woman. They can only deal with a person.
That's right.
Because
Something
they're
that doesn't
drawing into
exist.
it. And why is that? It's because corporations contract with each other.
That's right. And they're using you.
Aye.
It's like civil matter court. Glasgow City Council takes Robert Sproul to court. On the document that you receive, it's all capital name. So when you go in and face that lawyer that's representing that corporation, she's fighting against you as a corporation. People don't get that. They don't really get the gist of this, because it's not happening at their door. And once it happens at their door, they're in for a rude awakening, let me tell you.
I know. Well, by that point in time, it's too late. If somebody comes chapping at their door and they don't know how to deal with it, or they don't even know they're standing, then it's too late at that point.
That's right.
Because they could inevitably put themselves in a position where they give joinder, and at that point in time, it's too late. They need to understand these things. And why are people not understanding these? Is the trickery that good?
Oh, the deception's immense. Plus the fact it's not happening at their door until something really. I've told people about I've told them it's coming to their door, and dozens of people that I've talked to and told them that they've either had debt collectors at their door, police constables, police officers, or social services. And they've come back to me and says, how did you know it was coming to my door? It's coming to everybody's door. It's not came to your, if it's not came to your door yet, it's coming. And this is about these people. They're running about, they're going shopping and going to the dances and going to pubs and doing this and doing that. They've got free time. But what they don't realise, all the persons out there that's entering into this legal system, legal society, and the rules are coming for another lockdown. It's coming shortly. And they don't realise that either, because it's not happened yet.
Obviously, there's talk about monkeypox and things like that coming. And
all I'll say about that is don't eat too many nuts or bananas, because then you've got symptoms.
But what we can see is the same thing happening. It's just history repeating itself. 2 years ago, when we had another, global issue in our hands, and they had to lock down. And I wonder if people would be so keen to lock down this time. Anyway, we're kind of running out of time again. It's always great to talk to you, Robert. Really appreciate the viewers who come, especially the viewers who can interact with us, and they put some comments in the comments box, ask questions. What would you say to viewers about asking questions? And
I've not got an issue with that. I'm here to try and educate the people. That's my main objective. I don't ask for fund me, PayPals or anything else. I just want to wake the people up, because we're at a dangerous time and we have to nip it in the bud. Everything has to be removed from consent. Consent has to be removed. That's what's getting people into trouble. They consent to everything, PCR tests, vaccinations, etc., etc. You're walking right into a booby trap. They've got control. As soon as you do all that, you've got control. You're not even asking questions. The people don't even ask questions, and that's worrying. But as you said, we're running out of time. I'd like to thank the people for watching this video, and please, people, share this information far and wide. Verify it, private could pass under full liability. Again, if need be, a charge of perjury. And I would like to thank the team for helping Anti-Corruption Scotland TV in doing this and getting it put out in the right context.
Okay, no problem. Just before we finish up, I'd just like to mention the website, anticorruptionscotland.com.
And Rob S. YouTube.
Rob S. YouTube, and we also have Facebook.
Anti-Corruption Scotland, Save Our Children, and Anti-Corruption. People for the People, Anti-Corruption Scotland. Please join the groups and get the numbers up and help us get the support that we need to make change, people.
The only reason we're here is to protect ourselves and the people, and we don't ask for any funds for it. Everything's free, and our hearts are in the right place.
Good intentions.
Yep. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much, Robert.
Thanks to you, Richie, as well.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, mate.